Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President, Trailhead Evangelism, Salesforce, Leah McGowan-Hare.
All right, let me just set the stage before I get started. I need everybody in here to up-level their thinking for a moment. We're gonna take a little curve away from getting real granular into technology. We'll talk tech, but I want to talk about people. I want to up-level it to people. And before I do, I just want to take a moment to thank all of the organizers, one, for inviting me. And I have to say, I'm really loving this new no swag thing, swagless. I mean, I'm always going to have swag. But I mean, swagless, and less waste, more good. So how many people are enjoying that? All right, good. So I really enjoyed that innovation. Thank you. And I'm passing it on to other companies. So let's talk a little bit about empowering people in this modern technology. Now, as we know, we have all seen this slide at some level at some point in our career. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. Technology innovation is happening now. It's happening at a rapid speed. And there's a huge impact across all of it. We've seen the changes come from physical as well as digital, right? We've seen the physical from the robotics to 3D printing. My kids love 3D printing. Digital, the AI. AI is built into everything we do. How many of you all use Grammarly? Have you seen their new feature called Tone Detector? As you're typing an email, it will say, ooh, your tone is very strong or very friendly. So it has eliminated a lot of arguments for me. So I mean, that is AI built into everyday life that is beneficial to all, especially techies like me who can't really write that well. So VR, we've seen all kind of virtual reality. We all know that these are the changes that we are seeing. And this poses a question, right? As these changes are coming, and they're coming rapidly, they're coming quickly, the degree to which we individually as well as collectively embrace and or resist these changes will really determine our trajectory. So I'm going to let that sit there for a second. What does that mean? Well, we've all been on the side of either embracing and rejecting sort of these different changes. Now, I can take an educated guess that everybody in this room and all of our live streamers are people who not only embrace technology changes, you all are making the technology changes. You all are the creators of it. If you are not directly, you are the ones creating the infrastructure in which these technology changes live on and grow on. So we understand that. But what about those that are not? What about that fixed mindset? Now, there are degrees of this. We all have been there at some level. I mean, I have been there at some level. When I was once upon a time a developer for a company called PeopleSoft, I'm dating myself, and I had to make that jump from on-prem development to cloud development, there was some resistance. For me, I just was like, I'm not feeling this whole cloud thing. What do you mean I don't have access to this? What do you mean there's no select star? I have to explicitly say which fields I want. That's some BS, right? I had to go through it. I'm being honest. No judgment here. This is an open environment, open source, open environment. So I am sharing with you sort of how my fixed mindset. We all have seen this. Why do people own that? Well, change, as we know, can be uncomfortable. It can be ambiguous, and it can be disruptive. I mean, think about it. When technology productizes a service, it replaces a person whose identity, professional identity, was tied to that service. And it can add questions for them, questions on their identity, their value proposition, their personal brand. I mean, take, for example, LegalZoom. LegalZoom offers a lot of services that were once offered by a lawyer in the community. And then there's companies like Ross Intelligence, built on IBM Watson, that does all legal research. That takes care of legal researchers. So it runs the gamut, and we have to understand why people are coming in with this fixed mindset and what the scare is behind that. But this is not our first time at the technology rodeo. We've seen this before. We've seen these changes before. So now I'm going to have a little history question here. By show of hands, who recognizes this person? Oh, we got some work to do. All right, that's all right, no judgment. So How many people have seen Hidden Figures? Ooh, we really got some work to do. For those that did not put their hands up, you have homework assignment. So this woman, Dorothy Vaughan, worked at NACA, which was National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which then transitioned into NASA. So she was a calculator. Because as some of you may know, back in the day, there were no calculators. They hired the most brilliant mathematical minds to be the calculators. And they figured out the algorithms. They were the original AI. Now, as things became automated, IBM brought in these huge calculators, not the calculators you're thinking in your hands. What she's standing in front of is a calculator. But somebody needed to program this. So when this happened, Dorothy didn't sit there and ask disempowering questions. Oh, why me? What am I going to do? She was like, oh, no, I know what I'm going to do. Somebody needs to know how to program these things. This is programmed in Fortran. So I'm going to learn how to do that. And somebody needs to check the output of these calculators. Somebody needs to QA it. So she got on the bandwagon, but here's the thing. She didn't get on it alone. She trained others. She brought others along with her. And I think that is so, I take that back. I know that is so important, especially today, especially now. We need to ensure we are bringing others along with us. This is important, and we all care about this. Why? For the most basic business reason, we have hiring needs. How many people in here are hiring managers? Right? So here, and if you're not, you will be at one point, but if you don't have the people with the skill set that you're looking for, you're going to have a gap. We need to ensure that all these wonderful innovations you're creating, all of these apps you're creating, that there is a pool of people that can support the life cycle of these, that can use these applications. So from a hiring need, you need it. We want diverse teams. Now listen, I'm not here to talk to you about diversity 101. We know it's a problem. Look to your left, look to your right. I'm telling you it's an issue, right? I'm not here to sell you on how to fix it. We know that that is an issue. We can talk about that afterward. But we also know that it is important in making sure as we're bringing people along, we're doing it with the lens of inclusivity. And also, the most basic, we got family and friends that need those skills. We all got that one cousin, that one aunt, that one family member who's always looking for the next job. Well, you need to help them get the skills to have a job that's sustainable so they can stop borrowing money and get out your basement. You know I'm not lying. We all got that one, right? So we understand why this is important. So how do we do it? How do we lift as we climb? How do we curate as we create? Now, what does that mean? How many people here have self-taught themselves a programming language? It could be Python. Keep your hands up. It could be Java. It could be JavaScript. You two on the live stream. So keep your hands up. Now, of those people, how many of you all documented how you learned that? Look at that. That's knowledge gone. That process that you did, you could have easily shared with somebody else to help them learn. So we all have something to give. And we know we all have to ensure, we have to keep that at the top of mind as we go on this journey, is how are we curating as we create? How am I sharing this knowledge going forward? And we can all do this, and it's a responsibility of all. I'm sure you've heard one of the co-CEOs of Salesforce, Mark Benioff, say, business is the biggest platform for change. We can do this at an individual level, and we can also do it at a collective level. At Salesforce, one of the ways that we do it is with Trailhead. Trailhead is our free online learning platform where people can go to learn the skills that they need for jobs today and tomorrow. You can learn Salesforce skills, but you can also learn very non-Salesforce skills, technical skills, like how to build an automated CI/CS plan all throughout there. You can learn AWS. You can learn GitHub. You can also learn non-technical skills, because you need those too, right? Soft skills on presentation, on how to write, on Agile. You can learn all of that, and it is free. It is free. Now, you may be thinking, why is it free? Because once again, we believe that if we don't have people with the skills, our innovations will fall flat. So how do you scale up people at scale, at a large? You do it with a free platform. So I encourage you all, please check out Trailhead. It's pretty amazing. You can also learn about Heroku, who I know is also out here too. Shout out to Heroku. Now, you don't have to do it. You don't have to be a big company to do this. You don't have to be huge to do this. We can all do this individually. Everybody has a platform to make change. Like I tell people, Beyonce did not start at Coachella, right? She started at the local talent shows. You can start somewhere. Use the platform that you have today. We are all teachers. The example that I just used earlier, that you all, who taught themselves a language, if that were documented, you could write a blog about it, right? You could share, this is some of the things that I've learned, right? As I was going through, here's some of the things you might want to not do. Here's some of the things that were helpful. You can also answer questions in the community. How many people are active in the Pivotal community out there online? Oh, we got some work to do. Okay. So there's questions out there. People have questions. You have knowledge to share. You want to collaborate. Also, you can present at conferences like this. Now, here's the thing. The onus does not fall solely on you individually. We need all of our leaders in these organizations, all of our managers, to create a space where you can allow for employees to do each one, teach one, to allow them to create a space to do knowledge share. But if they are so pressed with deadlines, they are so pressed with code freeze, they're not going to create that space. It is up to you to do that and to drive the importance of it. So not only just say it, but actually reward people who are doing it, because that is important. Our knowledge is not here to hoard for ourselves. It is here to share and bring others along. You can also do it where meeting people where they're at, right? When you are in the space of helping bringing people along, you have to meet people where they are. What does that mean? Focus on connecting and not projecting. When you're working with people, you want to connect with them to understand where they're at before you start projecting where you think they should be, right? I think you should be on Slack and not using email. Well, I prefer to use email. So you got to understand where people are at. That's just an example, right? You also want to make sure that you are silencing your judgment. Silencing your judgment. I know I have worked with developers. I have been one. I think once you're a developer, you're always a developer. But I have been one, and I know that I could be a little, technical snobby, like, you don't know that? Okay. Silence that judgment as you are helping people along, collaborating. People are at different places in their journey. In order to help them get to that next level, you got to meet them where they are. And also, stay close, not closed off. I love this statement by a gentleman named Brian Stevenson. Anybody know who Brian Stevenson is by show of hands? His movie's coming out next year called Mercy. He's a civil rights attorney. And he talks about serving people, you have to do it with the power of proximity. You have to be in the space of understanding where they are. You can't serve people from sitting afar and saying, oh, those people, this is what they need. But understanding what people need and how they need it. An example, I know of a company that donated these great laptops and iPads to a school. Brand new, top one. And they sat there in the room because the teachers did not understand how to build it into their curriculum. So it's no point of having the technology if the people don't have the knowledge. But had somebody gone in to understand where they were, they could have found a better way. So the next thing that the company did to rectify it was put the teachers through training and then allow them to use the technology. So meet people where they are. Volunteer your time and resources. Volunteering is so important, and it doesn't have to be this separate thing that you do, right? Share your gifts and talents. Everybody in here has a gift, has a talent. Find a way that you can share it to inspire others to share theirs. You can start internally at your own company with Knowledge Share and extend it out to your community. But that is your responsibility. You are not here to hoard your gifts and talents. You are here to share and inspire others. Also, volunteer at a local school. People go, I don't know what to do. Just go to, I promise you, you go to the principal, they will give you work to do. Show up at their career day. Talk to them about what you do. A lot of times, these young people don't understand technology, and they think, particularly people who are people of color, young girls, they don't see themselves represented up there, and it's hard to achieve that which you cannot see. But if you go there and you talk to them about there is a place for everybody at the table, it might change their mind about it. So go and volunteer, look at schools, work with nonprofits. And you can work with nonprofits in many different ways. I did this here where I actually brought in Black Girls Code to Salesforce. They needed a space to host their event. I did that, and I actually was one of the instructors who taught the robotics course. And I brought my daughter. So in this picture, I'm actually handing my daughter a certificate for completing it. So you can make it a family affair, and it's a much more powerful meaning experience. And lastly, bring joy to what you do. Bring joy. How many people smiled when they saw that? I love that. I love that picture, right? That's how powerful a smile is. It empowers other people to smile. But bring joy to everything you do. Show gratitude. Show gratitude. If you wake up in the day grounded in gratitude, just thankful for something. Everybody has something to be thankful for. The mere fact you are sitting here, you have something to be thankful for. So every day, wake up, start your day grounded in gratitude. I guarantee it will change your trajectory of the day. Smile, always important. And as we learned, technology changes a lot of things, but it does not change human nature. So if one thing, remember, humankind just be both. With that, I thank you.